love again. And I pulled up in the color bins, choking, staying hard through my Prada lens. You standing there looking fine as a Kardashian. I hopped out, grabbed her hand and asked her, Ken, not marriage, no not yet, but what's the chances of dinner time? 6 plus sex, she said it equals us, pass the Dutch, and you could keep the clutch. Cause my love for you was automatic, had to have it. Now I'm living lavish, so many different whips, and every day new Gucci, Prada, and Louis baggage.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Married with Knowledge. I am your host, Terry, with my co-host here, my good Unc, everybody's favorite Unc, Uncle Klima. What's going on, Unc?
What's up, y'all?
Yes, sir. How everything going, man? How's your week been?
Week's been good. A little, get a little testy, right? But you adjust and keep it moving, man. Everything. God woke me up this morning, so that's a great start to the day.
Yes, sir. He gonna lead the way, man. Just like I always say, put him first, and God gonna lead the way.
Always.
Yes, sir. Glad everything was good for you this week. Me, I ain't do much, just work and family. That's pretty much all I do. I am stepping out to a Lil Wayne concert this weekend, but other than that, everything is everything, man.
That's it.
Yes, sir. Today, I'm gonna let you take the stage. I know you had some stuff on your mind that you wanted to talk about, so I'm gonna let you lead the way, man, and we just have our conversation and drop our knowledge to the people.
Well, yes. Let me start out by just saying, me and Terry always talk about the married life, and what we think it involves and entails in marriage. But today we want to touch on the single life and some red flags and things that you should be looking for. And as me and Terry always say, once you leave a bad relationship, you should also try to heal and let God lead the way sometimes,
Yes,
because when we try to put ourselves in first and get in the mix, we tend to mess up things that God already has planned for us. So I'm going to start with talking about some of the red flags that I think that you should look for. And when you see them, when a person show you who they is, believe them. So one of the first things I want to talk about is the competitor in the relationship. I always talk about competition in a relationship is not good. I think people should always try to complete each other. The user, the person who, only try to benefit for themselves and not for their spouse or their mate. The person who always blamer, the person who blames everybody for their failures and don't want to take accountability, which we always talk about. The complainer, complain about what's not going good in a relationship, but don't want to do anything to change it, And number one in my life and what I see is the abuser. If someone's abusing you mentally, physically, and emotionally, you got to get out of there, because they apologize the first time, but they really gonna keep doing it as long as you keep accepting it. So
people undermine verbal abuse, man. Like that's something that it'll eat at you. You know what I mean? It'll start off with a few words, man, and through time it'll just get worse, man, and it'll just mess up your conscience, man, and your thoughts, and have you in a bad space mentally. You know what I mean? So you don't want to be in that type of relationship.
Well, and with that, emotional and mental abuse, they manipulate you. They call you out your name, then they apologize, and then what you feel and realize, I always talk about it. You become emotionally, to yourself. You can't even think right. And think, and I don't, to this day, I don't understand why people think that it's love, because I always say, if you love me, hurting me hurts you.
Mm-hmm.
I always say that. So, it's like you have to always pay attention. That's why I say communication is definitely the key when it comes to a relationship. And, I know we always talk about the 5-star restaurants when you first go on a date, how women and men expect, things going on. But I do believe that having small dates to the coffee shop, to a maybe a sports bar, just to sit down and conversate and talk to each other, tell you what you like, what you don't like, what you expect, what you don't expect. And I'm a firm believer, if you tell somebody ahead of time and they abuse it after that, then that's not for you.
Yeah, because you basically dating to get to know somebody. You know what I'm saying? And once you get to know somebody, you start to see their patterns. And at that point, you can date for patterns and not for potential.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? It allows you to learn a person. And no matter what, man, I get it, man. Hey, everybody uses sex is good. The sex is good. Man, I'm sorry. I ain't met nothing that good to put me in certain situations. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry. Maybe my mental is set up different, but I can't see myself in a crazy predicament over some sex. Like,
listen, Terry, listen to this. I don't want nothing that good if it's gonna make me lose my mind. Listen, I don't. And don't let's not be honest. What we don't realize is if it's that good and it's causing you pain and anguish. Listen, man, I'd rather go for some mediocre.
Like, I disagree. I want it. I'm mentally strong. It ain't gonna break me.
All right, listen, but that's the problem. You mentally strong, I can be mentally strong, but we done seen people fall to the wayside because what they say. What the women say? Oh, that thing was good. I don't want nobody else to have that, and then you stuck because now he know. All I gotta do is put it on you. I can do whatever. I can go have me another chick. I can
right.
I can do it all.
You're right. But that's when them chicks that fall for that. That's why they be in the situation they did. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You better train your mental back.
Yeah,
because on the other side of it, you don't have some crazy ones, like,
listen, man. Listen, man. I understand because I done seen stalkers on both sides. I mean, Jesus, is it that good that you got to stalk them? But this would kill me. People, when it comes to that kind of stuff, they don't want to be with you, but they don't want nobody else to get that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. It's a big thing about it's that good, but I don't want to give it up for somebody else to have it, but they really don't want it. And
I've been there, so I can't even. I don't. Not to go chase my past or even bring it up, but I don't have a clear answer to why it just happens that way.
It does. But
they're very territorial.
But then we wonder why we stuck in this situation, and we can't get out of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, just switching gears just a little bit. I just read 2 stories. One where the guy stabbed the girl 25 times in front of her daughter. Listen, and then I was reading the comments on the video she put up showing all her stab wounds. Somebody said he just beat her up about 6 months ago, almost to death. So I'm like, oh, wow. After that, you're going to go back?
A red flag? He was there waving away. He was there waving. Red flags.
Listen, that's a whole billboard on the side of the building. But we don't
not to laugh or anything like that. That's a serious situation. But I'm just saying that's why we're talking about, the stuff we're talking about, because it's like, man, love can temporarily hide those red flags, man. But once you start accepting it, it's only gonna get worse. You know what I'm saying? There's no backtracking after that, because you don't allow them, to take a step, but they started skipping. You know what I mean? And what you think? They're gonna slow down now? Nah.
Right. So, and I see a lot of people who complain about their relationship. But when you ask them, what are you doing to make it better? They can't give you an answer. But then you ask them, well, why are you still in that relationship? And they still can't answer. Sometimes they don't even say love. Right. They just scared to step out on faith and move on.
Because scared to change. Scared to change.
In the mental, who gonna want me after I've been with somebody this year where I got a couple kids, or am I still relevant?
Somebody wants you, girl. Don't you worry. Somebody wants you. Somebody been watching.
Yeah.
And hoping they get a chance.
They always say, one man's trash is another man's future, boy.
And the same thing goes for the men.
Yes.
It's women out there that want you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, and I
Well,
mean, you
my
know,
wife always tell me though. She said it's always easier for a man to find a woman than a woman to find a man. I'm like, now, why would you say that? Me and her had this debate all the time. I'm like, that's not true, because if you're a good woman, it stands out no matter what.
yeah, it does. It does.
It's that perception that, oh, man can just go out there and find anybody.
Nah,
I
disagree. I disagree. I think the woman got the power. You know what I'm saying? They got the power. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I say. That's what I say.
I disagree. I feel they can never be lonely, man. There's somebody out here for every woman. You know what I mean? Because it is what it is. Men chase women. You know what I mean? It ain't the other way around it.
And that's another thing. Women's got to stop being the aggressor. Be willing to be chased.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion right now. Be willing to be chased. Let a man court you, date you. Let him come get you and take you out.
The only thing I would say to that is, unless for some reason you're just attracting the wrong one. Right. So you're trying to step out your comfort zone and say, you know what? Let me approach something that may look like my type, something different. You know what I mean? Because it ain't, I'm not going to lie, and I ain't putting her on Front Street, but that's how me and my wife got to know each other. You know what I mean? Like, she actually let me know she was interested first.
Well, see, you know that's why we do this. Different point of view. See what I mean? And this is real.
Yeah, and honestly, once I did my homework on her, you know, because you know we from a small town, everybody know everybody. So yeah, she know everybody I know. I'm like, damn, but I never seen her before. So I was out here messing around. You know what I'm saying? I was single, like I wasn't looking for no girlfriend. But knowing the type of woman she was, I had to make sure there wasn't no distractions around.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I knew she wasn't the one to play with. Like I just knew, you know what I mean? And once I got everything from around me, man, or the rest is history. So, man, ladies, shoot your shot, man. You never know. You know what I'm saying? You might be dubbing your future husband or something.
And that's from that young man point of view. See what I'm saying? The OG in me, like, yo, let that man chase you. But you know,
right, yeah.
And this is why we do this. Whatever works for you,
right.
You know, but in the process of whether somebody's chasing you or you going after someone that you see potential in, look for the red flags.
Oh yeah.
Be willing to see them and notice it. Because my thing is, you know, there's too many people out here that pass on great potential people. And it's because they looking at what somebody has. This guy got the Gucci on, the Jordans with the belt and everything. Right. He riding in a nice car. You know, the guy that has a Hyundai Telluride or something else too could be just as good. He just ain't flashy. He ain't flashy. Right. He about his business. And same with women. Some women are about their business.
Right.
You know, you just got to be willing to, you know, invest and try.
So. Yeah, because if you ignore them red flags, man, and then you call yourself, you know, being together for years, and then you end up getting married. Marriage ain't gonna hide them red flags. You know what I'm saying? They not gonna bury them red flags, because once you married, now they, you know, it feels like when you sign that paper, I don't want to say you own it, but it's like that's mine. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my husband, that's my wife. You know what I mean? So it's only gonna get worse, man. It becomes very territorial.
Yeah, because you know, on this, I seen another thing on social media where they asked, they said all men cheat, right?
Yeah,
and I said that's false, false. But my question to the people who were saying all men cheat: if you was at my wedding, I want you to hold me accountable. I'm gonna hold myself accountable. If you see me doing something wrong, I need you to hold me accountable. See, too many, and my question was, if you see a family member cheating on their spouse or their girlfriend, do you tell that person or tell their girlfriend, right? And my thing is, because if you say They're all men cheating, all men are dogs, and you see it, you allowing it. You telling them you see it and you don't care, but you go out there and say all men are dogs. No, hold me accountable, because that's what I love with people that I hang around. That's why I try to hang around people that if you see me doing something wrong, because people don't realize cheating is that's not going to have sex with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Cheating is them text messages that you hold behind your spouse or your girlfriend's back.
Right.
The flirting at work. You know, it comes with a lot of different scenarios when it comes to cheating. Because, and my thing is, when you start doing the small cheating, you end up getting to the big cheating.
I mean, once you get away with the little stuff, what's next? Let's see what else I could get away with.
Yeah.
And then once you start getting away with that, I mean, it's only gonna get worse. And that's either party. You know what I'm saying?
Either party.
That's either party.
Yeah. And my thing for people have to be much stronger. You know, the temptations are out there. The temptations are out there. We're good looking men. We got good looking wives, you know. But my thing is, and this is why I tell people to ask me if I trust my wife. I say, if my wife want to lose a good thing, that's on her, and vice versa. If I know my wife is a great woman, if I want to lose her, that's on me. You know, we have to hold our own self accountable, because, you know, it's easy to go out there and mess around. It's easy.
Right.
But can you handle the repercussions?
Right.
That's
I mean, they say you could lose a good thing and just a 5-second little decision. You know what I'm saying? It's all it takes is a quick decision to lose everything. That's marriage. That's, you know, your valuables, your job, like, you know, your freedom.
Right.
You got choices, but are you willing to pay the consequences for making those choices?
And those choices can hurt you.
Yeah.
And without a doubt. But for my single people, you know, I take dating as an interview. When you go to a job interview, right? You got that first interview. If you do well, you get a chance to get a second interview. That's the same with dating. If you go dating the person and they saying the right things, they talking great, y'all having great conversation, that person deserves another date.
Right.
And it continues to go on until you see the potential.
You can learn. You date to learn people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when you're around people enough, they're going to show you a pattern. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what you focus on. But again, I hate to repeat myself, but people are so invested in the potential. You know what I'm saying? But potential isn't guaranteed. I think that's what people don't understand. Potential is not guaranteed. It has the potential to be great, but it doesn't mean it's going to be great.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just learn that person, man. And once they show you who they really are, that should be easy for you to decide if you got a great future with them or not. You know what I mean? Now, if you like that toxic stuff, then I mean, have at it. But
But I mean,
avoid the red flags. Get to know them, man.
Right. But even with the potential, if you see they do have potential, are you willing to invest in that, in his potential to make him a better person or make her a better person? Because like we just talked about, a great woman will make a average guy, a good guy, become a great guy.
Yeah.
And that's because she sees what the value in him and the value that she has that can, when it comes together, it becomes, you know,
she knows how to pour into him, you know what I'm saying? To the point where he's able to reach his full potential. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's all it was missing. Maybe his life was just missing that emotional support. Yeah, support by friends and family and everything is cool, but when you are like have an intimate relationship with somebody and they support, that's a different type of support. I mean, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, damn, they want this more for me than I want for myself. Like they love it more than I do, and that's what makes it different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's just the having the person's back, showing them that whatever you going through, we're going through together. We're gonna get through this. And being an OG and 35 years in, it has been times where I needed that support from my wife.
Yeah.
And she gave it. And listen, people don't realize, for me, Uncle Clee, I cry. I thank my wife for all the stuff that she does for me, because sometimes we take on all those responsibilities and we feel that pressure. But when that woman sees that you're going through it and she relieves some of that pressure, oh my God.
Right.
You can just say,
Nah,
thank
it
you, God,
is.
for sending me. Thank you for sending me this one.
It's literally a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
Literally. Like that support from your spouse hit different, man, because they gonna push you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They love you, but they gonna push you. They like, nah, you better than that.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of relationships fall off, because like they don't really support each other. They're together, but they doing their own thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For example, like you running the business over here, and even she could be running the business over here, but y'all both focused on the separate businesses. You know what I mean? Like, nah, y'all gotta find a way to support each other. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna support mine every in any way I can. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Well, the podcast when we was on Unapologetically Divorced, remember she was talking about it, how she poured into her husband, got him to where he needed to be, and then when she wanted to step out and do her stuff and write a book, he didn't want her to do it.
Yeah,
and for me, I thought that was a sad moment in the relationship where she poured into you and got you to where you need to be, but when she tried to, upgrade herself and become an author and do the things, you shot her down.
Right.
And then she also said he stopped going to church with her.
I mean, not for that. They go. What are those? What we talking about?
Red flags. And you can hide them for so long.
Yes. I was just about to say, just because you don't have red flags going into a relationship, into a marriage, don't mean that they won't develop red flags.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's perfect, man. We human. Like, we are constantly changing. We getting older. Our emotions are changing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of stuff going on. And you mentioned it earlier. Like, it's a lot of temptation as well. Like, that's why when you get married or whatever the case may be, you don't know. Yes, they say, why you think they say that? That's what I meant to say. Why do you think they said for better or for worse?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they know the future's not going to be easy. It's about to be work, and you got to be willing to take this relationship on, good and bad, no matter what happens.
Yeah, but you said all the time this is where they fail. It's not the end game when we get married. That's the beginning. I said that's the beginning, because now maybe you lived together before, but when you get married and start living together, and you see them little small habits or them little things that get on your nerve.
Yeah, no, because you tolerate it in the beginning,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it 100. Like, to court a woman, or vice versa, for a woman to get a man, you put up with certain things to
get that ring,
fill your void, or comfort, get your comfort, whatever the case may be.
Definitely.
Even to get the ring, I wasn't even going to that extent. But I'm just saying, you tolerate the little things at first, them little red flags and the stuff you tolerated at first.
Right.
And then you get married, and then here go the feelings change. Oh, I hate the way you do this. Oh, I've been doing this since day one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and the big one I hear, the funny thing I hear about, and I'm like, you've been sleeping with this man forever. Now you complain about this man snoring? Oh, I can't take him snoring. I want to sleep in a different room. Oh, them first 2 years I was married, he was snoring. It didn't bother you.
It bother you, no?
Yeah, so I understand.
Love is blind and deaf, I guess. Because, you know what I'm saying? Love will make you think some shit that ain't even true. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll have you forgetting you even got those bad habits, man. And that's why they say love. I know why they say love is blind. You know what I mean? Because I should have you all messed up if you ain't careful.
You're definitely right. But it's just the simple fact that, those are the things that you talk about in the beginning. And that's what we talked about, single life. Single life, you try to get all them quirks out, but like we said, some red flags happen after the marriage. But can you adapt? Can y'all communicate through that? Can you talk your way out of it? Can you love each other enough to say, well, it said to death do us part, better for worse, richer for poor. Can y'all withstand those type of things
Right.
and keep it going?
Right.
And that's why I tell people, be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for. That rushing into marriage, y'all been dating 6 months and they the love of your life and y'all get married and now y'all we talked about it. How can you marry somebody and you really don't know them?
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's really crazy.
You mess around and get sick and need somebody to wipe your ass and you
Right.
come to find out your partner ain't with that.
Right.
Now what? You know what I'm saying? And that's real.
And
I've seen people leave their spouses because of a medical condition, because of an accident or whatever the case may be, man. And that's gotta be torture on the person. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got married and you to death do us part, man. You vowed to all those things. And here we are. When one of those things comes to the table.
Well, they got what people don't talk about, Terry, and this is the funniest thing, right? So you got cancer. That's a process in itself when you're married. Taking care of that person, they going through a down point in their life and they need their spouse to pick them up other than family.
And they going through it.
Right. Diabetes. Listen, let's be real. When men get diabetes and they not taking care of it, they thing ain't working like it used to. Can you deal with that? Are you willing to deal with stuff like that? Or breast cancer or uterine cancer. Now she can't give it to you like she could give it to you before. Can you deal with that? Right. That's those, and like I said, those illness, we don't know we're gonna get those type of illness, but can you work through that in your marriage? And one thing about it was back in the day when me and my wife first got married. I don't know if you remember this, but some kids threw a big boulder over the highway.
Hit the car,
and the girl became, her face and became paralyzed. That brother left her, and I'm like, wow, y'all was doing so good until this, till she, disfigured on her face, and so your love ain't for her no more.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. See?
That was me and my wife had that conversation way back then when that happened. Like, honey, what would you have done? What would I have done? But I know I would have stayed because I love that woman.
Yeah, and not for nothing. After that accident, that's still the same person you married.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man, but me personally, I know I make my wife so happy and it shows. You know what I'm saying? That to the point that I don't ever want to see what it looks like for her to be upset. At least at me.
Right.
At least hurt. If I'm not upset, hurt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I do stuff like that. I vision stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I see her happy and I might just be sitting there, man, because we got lakes here in Florida, man. I'm just sitting on the side of the lake and I'm just thinking like, dang. And that thought might come and I'll be like, man, I never want to make my wife cry. You know what I'm saying? Like, call it what you want, man. But listen, I'll tell you what, this household is very happy. It is what it is.
Yeah. But like, again, I'm going to say it. If hurting you don't hurt me, you don't love me. Because you should want me to have that pain. Right. And that for husband and wife. We should be trying, because, don't get me wrong. Like my wife made a comment today. I want to go back to my old life when my dad was here. Me personally, I asked her, I said, are you okay? Is there anything I could do? Did I do anything wrong? And she was like, it's just nothing new. I'm just in my feelings. But I want her to know you can talk to me about it. Because I feel the same way sometimes. My mother passed away. Like my birthday just passed. I don't like celebrating my birthday because my mother actually died on my birthday. But my family knows. And guess what? They accommodate. They try to take me out. They try to make me smile. But sometimes you just don't feel it. But I still know the love. I still feel the help and the people who stand by me, and especially her, you know, trying to get me through this day. You know, she asked me what I wanted to do. I said, I really didn't want to do much. But she said, okay. So we ended up going to the Home Depot on my birthday, getting all the house supplies and just hanging out. But it was a beautiful day. And people don't realize it. It's just the most experience of happiness that I have for 35 years. That I wish everybody could have it.
Mm-hmm. Not seriously. I say that. I'm like, you know, I don't recommend people go about it the way we did. You know what I'm saying? We broke all traditions and went against every grain and all of that. You know what I mean? Like, but we honestly didn't see red flags. You know what I'm saying? Like, what can I say? You know what I mean? Like, what can I say? I didn't see red flags. She didn't see red flags. Here we are. And like I said, man, we listen. Thank God by God's grace. We are happily married. You know what I'm saying? We've been together 4 years in. And I mean, it's only getting better, man. But as y'all know, so God is centered. You know what I mean? So as long as we let God lead, man, we good, man. We just
Definitely
follow what we're supposed to follow and, you know, do what we're supposed to do.
All right now.
Yes, sir. But yeah, man, we're gonna wrap this thing up. I do appreciate y'all for tuning in. We love to have y'all here, man, and the support that we are gaining, man. We are greatly appreciative of each and every one of you, man. Y'all follow the page. You know, y'all talk to us about the episodes. I know Aunt, y'all been talking to Aunt. We all bumping to Aunt. You know, people inbox me and have nothing but great things to say. And we're gonna continue to do this.
Definitely.
But again, thank y'all for tuning in to Married with Knowledge. As always, put God first, and everything else will follow through. Peace.
Peace.